Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are going to talk a little bit about how to get power charges now that Hateforge is going to get completely destroyed. So I had an idea, as many people had, of course, of using the terracotta soldiers with sacrifice and profane ritual, but for some reason it seems now they cost 53 spirit. So there are other low cost spirit specters, but I couldn't find one that was less than the skeletal clerics. And do remember that there are ways for them to cost less. Right now I'm using 3 of them, but I can use a little bit more. Of course, this will make it so you have to use more spirit. And the ideal would be to get a cast on critical setup with profane ritual, but there's a little bit of a problem with it. Is that we don't have enough spirit. Because we are Clerics of Chayula, and also the sockets are a little bit weird. So I'm going to be trying to find other ways to get those power charges. But if you don't know how it works, is you have skeletal clerics and you have sacrifice. This is spirit occultist gem, and skeletal clerics of course are also a spirit occultist gem. And what you can do is you can use the profane ritual and they revive themselves. This way you can get a lot of power charges, and as long as you don't kill all of them, they will keep reviving themselves, and this way you will always have some power charges. You can do that while you are moving around or while you are hitting with custom crit. And of course, sadly, I don't have this, but if you use Zarok's refrain, you can use it and it gets a little bit of a cooldown, 5-second cooldown, but you will use 3 casts instead of 1. So it will do like 1, 2, 3 and get those power charges. Of course, you're using things like charge profession and other things to get those extra charges sometimes. But you have to be a bit careful, because if you kill all of them, or if they have their skill on cooldown, this will happen. You will only end up with 1, and maybe that won't help. Of course, if you have a little bit more spirit, you can use. And 5 is when it's super safe to use 3 in a row. As you can see here, they have revived themselves, and now I still have 4 of them. And of course, very important to put the Brutus lineage helm on your skeletal clerics so they can't be damaged, and that way they don't die from random things. So that is kind of how to automate power charges. Of course, you can also use cast on ailment instead of cast on crit, but that way you will have lots of power charges. And there are also other ways that I also explained on my other video, and it was using ailith chimes, like with culmination and a quarterstaff strike, or your talisman swipe that you will have, because there are many cool wolf or bear abilities that you can choose from. Maybe you can have one of them to pop volatility and the other one to get power charges. I actually like that way more, because that way you don't need to bother with a lot of these weird gems. But remember, if you do want to do that, you can get some spirit efficiency on your Against the Darkness, because the only important one is extra chaos. Of course, getting an extra element is also very good, but not 100% needed. So that's how you get power charges now that Hateforge is completely dead. And well, you will get more damage and superiority and everything instead of using these gloves, because they are getting changed on the other side. And there's also a cool tech that I hope to showcase with the belt. As you might expect, if you get the loose maximum energy per second, you can go CI again. Now, of course, you will need to have spirit on your neck and chest, and maybe you can also get the corruption on the helmet for some extra spirit. That lets you have some extra clerics. That's everything. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.